Zidane Danny, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. It's time for another Nerd Chat, and I'm here with my fellow host,
I'm Jack.
and today we are going to be talking about Pokemon Legends ZA. This is going to be our last Nerd Chat about Pokemon ZA before the game comes out. So, yeah, and this is the last chance that we'll get to talk about it before the game comes out. So, from this point forward, there are going to be spoilers abound everywhere. I don't know if we'll talk about ZA like with the immediate nerd chat after it comes out. Are you speaking of which? Are you getting it pretty quickly or?
I get paid the 17th.
Okay, so so you'll probably be getting it the day after it comes out. Um, so
Probably, yeah.
give or take. But yeah, so and I've already pre-ordered it. It's I just need to pick it up, and then we will be doing a let's. I'll be doing the let's play of it on the 16th. Um, that'll be my. You'll get to see all of my first experiences with it. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what ZA has in store for us. But I think the big thing about like trying to predict anything when it comes to ZA, it kind of feels hard to do because we've ZA is really there's not really been anything that would is really comparable to it from what we've seen. Sure, there are aspects of Arceus, but it looks like it's improving on a lot of things that Arceus did. It's improving on a lot of things that um, Scarlet and Violet did, and it's gonna be something that is just gonna be kind of bizarre. I don't really know if we will be able to know really anything until the game comes out. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like obviously there are certain things
Hello,
that,
and welcome to EP108, Managing Benefits.
The
This is
fuck?
what the
one of
fuck?
12
Sorry,
Okay,
my computer started talking to me.
weird. But yeah. Um I don't know. Like sure we know a few things about the game already. We know a few of the new mega evolutions. Um we know that we know the starters. We know a good number of the new mega evolutions. We know that there's going to be some multiplayer aspect to the game. Unlike Arceus, Arceus didn't have any multiplayer stuff at all.
Right.
So it's gonna be
We
different.
also know that when you transfer Pokemon to it, they can't go back to whatever game they came from.
Yeah. So that's pretty much gonna mean that like in everything from this point forward, this is Gen 10. You're not going back. So, yeah. Um, this is the start of Gen 10, and whatever Gen 10 has is going to be very different. And I imagine when Gen 10 actually comes out, most likely we're going to be getting. It's probably going to be switched to exclusive. You will not be. This is going to be the last game that is on Switch and Switch 2. So, yeah. I don't know. Um, we've kind of like pointed at certain characters and been like, "Oh, you're similar to to some other character that we've seen." They don't show if you look at the website, they don't show all of your friends and stuff. Um, they just show Urbane and Tawny, but the other three kids they don't seem to be showing in the character section, which is kind of sad. Um, so we really have, so yeah, we I wish that they did actually show them, but they kind of have like certain aspects to them that are very similar to that of the characters from X and Y. Um, we also know that not a lot of time has passed since X and Y because there are characters that we met in X and Y that are still around in ZA. like I think the most obvious like of the most obvious characters, obviously Az he and his Floette are
Yeah.
in there, but the new professor, quote unquote, is a member of Team Flare, and she was one of the admins. She was one of the, I think there were like two female admins, and she's one of them. Um,
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't. Yeah. So we don't really know too much about. But like with her, it's like, is she actually good, or is she just like has she turned over a new leaf and is better, or is she gonna turn out to betray us? Um, like we've got someone who's we like it kind of feels like Jet and Vinny are likely going to be bad guys at some point. Um, from the new foundation or whatever that it is. What is this? Quasartico Inc. is the group, and I don't trust her whatsoever. Like between Jet and Vinny, I think I trust Vinny a little bit more, but he's also a bodyguard. But he has like the freaking cute little bun on the top of his head that has let's see who does he have on there? So it's um Pangoro and Baniri, I think. So like I kind of trust him a little bit more. Like oh yeah, he's the secretary to Jet, and I don't trust either of them. But if I'm gonna trust either of them at all, Vinny is gonna be the one that I trust more. I don't trust Mabel like whatsoever. I do not see that going well. Emma was basically a side story that you could do. Um, Involving Looker. Basically, Looker was doing some cool, looking into certain things during the events of X and Y, and Emma shows up. So she's basically taking on that role. She does look older. I would say, I think she was like 10, maybe younger in X and Y. Now she looks like she's at least in her teens. So so at least a few years have passed since X and Y, but not a whole lot. Um, and I don't know. It's really hard to say. Um, when it comes to Pokemon, I I don't know if we're going to be seeing any brand new Pokemon. Like, I think that pretty much everything that we're going to be seeing in terms of new designs of Pokemon are going to be the Mega Evolutions. We haven't seen anything about there being alternate evolutions, there being um, new Pokemon that have been that are brand new announced, because like even with Arceus, we knew from pretty early that there were going to be new Pokemon. Were there many? No,
Cool.
but we knew from pretty early on that there were going to be new Pokemon. Um, I don't know how early. I think it was a little ways in, but yeah. Let me see here. If I look at the Pokedex really quick, Sui. Did they have? Can I look at the Hisuian Pokedex? I don't know. I don't know. They've changed certain things on Bulbapedia, so I don't know exactly what's going on here. Here we go. So, yeah, like obviously we didn't know about the alternate forms of each of the starters, which I still think that there's a good chance the starters are going to get alternate forms besides just their Mega Evolutions. We know they are going to get Mega
Mm.
Evolutions. They've that was in a leak, and that leak so far has been proven correct. But we don't know if they're going to get anything more than that. But we didn't see too many. I think there was like 10 I think there were 10 new alternate forms and stuff when it came to Pokemon in Legends Arceus. Basically, one for each of the one that would be the mount for the region, and one that was the big guy, the boss for the region. And then there were a few extras, mostly when it came to like legends and stuff. But there wasn't really much else. So there were the alternate forms for Dialga and Palkia. Enamorus got implemented, and that was pretty much it. Also Zoroark. Randomly, just like out of the blue, Zoroark for whatever reason got a new alternate form. But I think that's it. So it really wasn't many, but it was enough that you and they showed off some of these. They didn't show off every single one of the the new forms or whatever, but they did show off quite a few of them. So, yeah, and I think that's just like a few extra Pokemon. So I think the big question is, how much are we going to be getting new when it comes to ZA? Like, obviously we're going to get new Mega Evolutions. There's no way that they've revealed all of the Mega Evolutions when it's only been seven new Mega.
There's no way.
There's no way that 7 new Megas.
I'm still hoping for a Mega Togekiss.
Fair. And I think the big thing to note is that no matter what happens when it comes to the Megas, we should not expect that all of the Megas that we see throughout the game are all of the Megas for this game, because we know that the DLC is coming. It's just going to be a little ways away. So, and that DLC, we've already gotten confirmed that it has new Mega Evolutions that we haven't that have not been revealed through leaks. There has been some leaks. Exactly what it is, I don't know all of the leaks off the top of my head, but I know that several of them have been. There have been several leaks when it comes to Mega Evolutions. So, yeah. I guess another big question I'm kind of curious what you think is, how do you think we're gonna be able to get around the city besides just running?
I'm hoping for roller skates.
I mean, we had roller skates in X and Y, and I think that that's actually a good idea.
Exactly.
So, I think that there's definitely a possibility that that pretty early on we get roller skates. I think that would be a very fun way to get around.
Or Heelys.
Heelys would be hilarious.
Some form of wheeled shoes in general.
Yeah, some form of that would be freaking hilarious. And I think that would basically be your first level of speed getting around. I think there's a good chance that Go-Goat will be a rideable. You'll be able to ride a Go-Goat somewhere around the city. Because that's
probably true.
That was in X and Y, but we haven't seen anything when it comes to like riding Pokemon or even riding a bike. The city feels very dense, but it also feels pretty open. Like, from what I've seen, it looks like it's pretty open comparatively to like other cities in the past when it comes to Pokemon. So I imagine that there has to be some mode of transport when it comes to Pokemon. My immediate thought is Go-Goat. I think that would be reasonable to be able to run around on Go-Goat, and basically he allows you to my guess as to what he'll allow you to do is basically just move fast when you're like on the city streets and stuff. But another thing that is like on my mind is, what about climbing? What if we could climb buildings? What if we can at least glide, if not fly? I would like to be able to fly over the city. That sounds fun. Like, do something when it, like when it comes to to what we did in not Arceus, because Arceus could only glide. But in Scarlet and Violet, we were able to fly over the entire region, and I understand that like that sounds like it's not really going to be as necessary when it comes to a big city, but it could be fun, and I would like to see that. Another possibility that I think this is really stupid, but I could see this happening. What if we had something similar to basically running around like Spider-Man, and you could like swing from building to building? Awesome. I don't know how the hell they would do it, but it would be freaking hilarious. So, yeah. I don't know. And from what I'm seeing as well, it doesn't look like there's going to be many loading screens throughout the city. Because pretty much every building in images, at least, is that we can looks like you can easily access is like, or that we'll need to be able to access, like freaking Pokemon centers. Pokemon centers have an open concept. Looks like a lot of the stores have an open concept as well. Like maybe you'll be able to go into certain restaurants and stores, but to me it looks like most likely they're going to be very similar to that of what happened in Scarlet and Violet, where you basically go into the building and it's basically just a menu.
Yeah.
And I kind of
makes sense because
I understand
seems to be the new way they're doing things.
Yeah. While personally I would love to be able to actually go into all these buildings, there are certain limitations that have to happen with that. And one of the big things is that when you're moving between big areas, you have to think about like how much are you loading? Are we loading like the entire every time that you exit a building, are you loading the entire freaking city again? So, yeah. I don't know. Like, granted, there weren't that there were some loading screens in Arceus, or not Arceus, in ZA, or why can't I speak? Scarlet and Violet. There were some loading screens and junk, but relatively they were
only
pretty
to
small.
Go into Mesagoza.
Yeah, Mesagoza, and there were like one or two buildings. I think like Mesagoza had the school. That was an entire building. I think the place where you I think one of the stores in Mesagoza was also had an interior, and then I think just random
sandwich shop.
One random sandwich shop has an interior that's like out in the world map, and that's it. Oh, and like all of the gyms
and the
gyms, yeah.
The gyms and the place I was gonna the Treasure Eatery, but that's a gym, so yeah.
Yeah, Treasure Eatery is basically a gem. And then there was also in the DLC there were obviously a few buildings. Basically for Blueberry it was the new school when it and then when it came to Kitakami, the place where I guess it was like a hotel type dealy bob.
It was a community center.
Yeah, the community center had a freaking interior. There were obviously other loading screens besides those, like going down into the crater and going deeper into the crater, but comparatively, it really wasn't.
There was not many.
There weren't, and like, granted, now that we're on the Switch 2, loading screens really don't take that are not going to take that much effort anyways. So, while I think that it would be fine for them to have interiors for many of these buildings, I also understand that they're probably not going to. None of the images that we've seen, none of the videos that we have seen have shown interiors to any of these like food place. There's several restaurants, there's several stores throughout the entire city, but they have never once shown us an interior of these places. And granted, that might just be because of the fact that they felt like that would be boring. But considering the fact that the Pokemon Center does appear that you will not have to go into a loading screen at all. And it just leads me to think that you probably won't. It probably will not be an interior design. I don't know. Also, another thing that's kind of like on my mind, do you think we're going to be seeing any other characters from X and Y that they have not yet revealed?
You know, I honestly have no idea. I don't remember much about X and Y. It was about a decade ago, so
That is true. It has been a long ass time. I guess like the big questions is like Sycamore. We don't know. Sycamore should still be around. So where the hell is he? Like your friends. I could see your friends showing up. I think everyone except for Clement and Serena. I think that those two, most likely, they're not going to show up because they're obviously your character. They're representative of your character. But
yeah.
I could see some of the others appearing. Let me see here. Legends. ZA. Here we go. Characters. Have they revealed? Do they have anything in here about the characters? No, they do not. I could have sworn that they had something about the different characters in here. I don't know why they don't list off the characters when you're looking at the freaking. I don't know, but yeah, there. Like one of the new dancer girl, whoever she is, she clearly looks a lot like Terrano, so I could see her being like his sister. And then the other two boys, or no, sorry, not the other two boys, the boy and the girl. I'm forgetting their names right now, but they were like they were super important to the main story. I could see those two having some involvement, especially. I think the big thing is though that they don't really look like any of the other characters, so I imagine that they would be involved. I think I said Clement, but Clement is actually the gym leader, so I could see him and Bonnie somehow showing up again, and obviously being older, especially since they're the gym leader and they practically live in the tower. So I guess my big question when it comes to the tower is like, are we going to be seeing anything in the tower, or is it just going to be a location?
Yeah. That is
Because-
the question, isn't it?
Yeah. I think that there's a pretty good possibility that we're going to be going into the tower. How exactly, what exactly, it feels like there is no way that we are not going into the tower to do something. What exactly that is, I have no idea. But I feel like there has to be something that's going to be happening in the tower. I personally think that there's a decent possibility that the final boss fight of the game might be in the tower.
That would make sense.
Yeah. But they're I think the big thing about ZA is like they're keeping a lot of this close to the chest. They have not comparatively, like even Scarlet and Violet had significantly more information, especially like right now, than this game has. In fact, I don't think there's been a Pokemon game that has had less information about it than that of ZA. Can you think of any?
I cannot.
Okay, yeah. Because, like, thinking about some of the other games, like obviously, they did try to keep a lot of things under under wraps for a while there. Specifically, like, Scarlet and Violet, they tried to keep as much close to the chest as possible. I don't think they even I think that it was leaks for the starters, which that is fair. That's a reasonable. They didn't want people knowing what the starters final evolutions were like. But a lot like we knew. I think we knew pretty early. We knew that we were going to. I think we knew a little bit about Area Zero, but not much. I don't know. There really wasn't much though. Like obviously we knew a lot of the Pokemon. We knew a lot of the. We knew about the professors and knew that something had to be off with them. We knew about Koraidon and Miraidon, and yeah. Okay, maybe Scarlet and Violet we knew a little bit less about, but it's hard to say for sure because it's been years since it's been a few years since that's happened, and remembering exactly what we knew is kind of impossible. But like,
True.
I don't know. Even Arceus felt like we knew more about the game when it was announced before it came out than ZA, and I think the biggest confusion with the fact that ZA is so close is that we've known about this game for more than a year. Usually, the Pokemon has been pretty strong in, hey, let's get at least one game out every single year. But we had such a large gap between the DLC for Scarlet and Violet to the release of ZA that it just feels, I don't know, just kind of odd. And I don't know, like I believe. Let me see here. Mega Dimensions. When does that come out? That's. Let me mute that. Mega Dimensions. So they don't show that. They don't say when it was. I have an email that says when it was, though, so one sec. So, here we go. Here we go. So, we're getting the DLC is coming in February, at the end of February. At this point in time, that is the confirmed date. And we know that Pokemon Day is not much further from there, I believe. When is Pokemon Day? Okay, so it's the day after Pokemon Day. Is when we're getting the DLC. Is when we're getting the official DLC. So, and because of that, and it's the 30th anniversary of Pokemon, we're probably going to be getting some pretty major things happening on Pokemon Day this upcoming year.
Yeah, one would hope so.
Because we know that we obviously know that Pokopia is coming out. We don't know the exact date of that, obviously. Let me see here on exact details. Can I please see details? Pokopia.
Pokopia does not have a release date yet.
Yeah, it doesn't have a release date yet, but it is next year. So yeah, so Pokopia is
It
next
will get a
year.
release date.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, Pokopia is coming in 2026. Most likely, Gen 10's big game is going to be coming out in 2026. Um. So it's really not that much time comparatively when it comes to for ZA to actually live. Um, because it's basically it kind of reminds me of the events of X and Y, because X and Y had the shortest lifespan of any of the main series games. Um, it basically came out here. Okay, here's the first game. Here's the remake of the next year. Here comes the remake of frickin' Ruby and Sapphire with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and then okay, time for Sword and Shield, and or not Sword and Shield. Sorry, Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon came out so quick. And to a certain degree, it feels like ZA is really not getting that much breathing room, because it's going to be basically, hey, here's from October until February, the end of February, is going to be, hey, play around with Arceus, or play around with ZA, have fun with all the things for ZA. Then at the end of February, enjoy the DLC as basically a spacer between now and Pokopia, Gen 10, any other games that are coming. And we really don't know what games are coming when it comes to for 2026. They've been really holding a lot of that to the chest as well. So I don't know. Like, like we just had we didn't have a Pokemon. Did we have a Pokemon Direct recently? I feel like I think it
Not all that recently.
I think the last one was Pokemon Day, but obviously because Pokopia was announced during the Nintendo Direct, the most recent Nintendo Direct, right?
Correct.
So, yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. I think the other thing to be thinking about when it comes to the ZA ranking system, I think that basically from Z to A is going to be the main story. I think that you'll still be able to get better.
Oh yeah.
After you finish after you get all the way through A, but basically all the different story bits are going to be happening somewhere between rank Z and rank A. So like Z is like the very beginning. Maybe like I don't know, by M, you have freaking maybe you have like some of the mounts. I would imagine that you would have probably at least 2 mounts. If there's going to be 4 mounts, let's say there's 4 mounts in the game, probably by M you have 2 of them. By the time that you reach rank A, you have all of them. In fact, probably by C, you have all of the mounts. And then basically from C to A is like major story heavy chaos. And the other aspect of that is like, we know that there's going to be that some of the stuff with the Mega Evolutions is happening pretty early. I think it's like maybe like XYW, somewhere right around there is where we start to find out about the megas that are happening just randomly. I think that was something that was revealed in a certain event. And whether or not that's accurate, we have no idea. But obviously, you'll still need to catch more Pokemon. You'll still need to fill out your Pokedex. You'll still need to get a lot of the Mega Evolution stuff after you reach rank A. I guess another thing that is kind of like on my mind is, do we think that AZ's Floette, or at least a version of it, is finally going to be accessible to catch in Z?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I doubt it.
Okay. Because that is something that a lot of people have been saying for a long time. They want to be able to get at least a Floette that looks like AZ's Floette. Whether it be like something where it's a gift Pokemon, or it be just like, yeah, you find the region where those flowers are, and you are actually able to get it. I don't think it's going to be in the main game. I think that there is a possibility that it will be in the Hoopa story in Mega Dimensions.
Maybe.
And actually, speaking of the Mega Dimensions thing, I think that there's a good possibility when it comes to the Hoopa rings and dealing with that. One of the things that might happen with that is, as you go through to various different locations, that's how you get other how you get legendaries that are not normally in the game. That's how you get obviously you're going to be getting new Mega Evolutions from that, but maybe you're able to go to a smaller version of Hisui and get like the Hisuian Pokemon. Maybe you're able to go in and find like all sorts of Pokemon that have just been gone for years and years. Maybe you're able to catch like the original forms of extinct Pokemon. I don't know. Like I said, I'm spitballing here, but I think it could be fun. It could be really fun, whatever they decide to do with that. And I think, I don't know. My big wonder, I guess, is how much are they keeping to the chest, and how much is going to be like, oh my gosh, this is just truly amazing, blah, 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 blah. And how long is it going to take for people to play through this entire game? Like, I'm going to be trying to keep my playing the game to a pretty, to a limit, basically. Only going to be playing on Thursdays for, like, main stories and stuff. I might play off stream to basically, like, I'll go catch some Pokemon. I'll go do some random shit. But I don't know.
Side quest, you know.
Side quests, stuff like that. Maybe I'll do some of that shit. But even then, I'm still probably going to limit it to try to only be doing it on my Thursday streams. But I don't know. It's really hard to say. I guess another question is, like, who do you think are going to be the main Pokemon that people are going to be choosing for this for ZA? Who's going to be
I think Chikorita's going to get some love finally.
You think Chikorita's going to get a lot of people to love it?
I hope so. It's such a good Pokemon, and people just sleep on it so hard.
Yeah. I think the problem is that, like, I don't know. Cyndaquil is Cyndaquil is my personal favorite Pokemon, so it's kind of weird, and it's funny to me because Arceus, from what I've heard from a lot of people, Arceus basically chose the 3 starters that everyone chooses for their for their games. So Cyndaquil for Johto, Rowlet when it comes to Alola, and as much and Oshawott for Unova. Though Unova has like probably the most balanced group, except people hate Tepig. I don't think very few people.
I mean, yeah, that's because Tepig fucking sucks.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think, I'm like of these three, I feel like Totodile is probably going to be the one that the most people choose, because it's one of those Pokemon that people love. Um, it's the second.
True.
As far as I'm aware, it's the second favorite starter of Johto, with Cyndaquil being the favorite. But I'm also hoping that
course.
Chikorita. I like Chikorita. I think that there are a lot. I'm not certain if it's going to be the Pokemon that I'm going to start with, mostly because you're pretty certain that you're going to start with Chikorita, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm kind of thinking of Totodile. Um, because I know that we'll be able to get all three eventually, but I've kind of just been like stuck between: do I want to go with Totodile, or do I want to go with Chikorita? And while part of me also wants to try Tepig, I don't know. I wish that they would actually reveal.
Tepig wasn't even a thought for me.
Huh?
Tepig was not even a thought for me.
Yeah. Like, I'd like for Tepig to actually get some love, but so that's actually like
But it doesn't deserve it.
It doesn't deserve it, but it also need like, if I'd like to see what their Mega Evolutions look like, or maybe not necessarily their Mega Evolutions, but maybe like their final forms. If it is like just, oh yeah, they have their standard final forms, but they have like these extra Mega Evolutions. That's fine. And then I would choose off the Megas. But whatever their final form is, um, I think that's gonna determine which one I'm gonna choose. Unless there's just no way to find out what they look like by the time that the game comes out. By the time that I start playing.
Fair.
Because yeah, I don't know. Part of me really wants to go with Chikorita, but another part of me kind of wants to go for Totodile. It's so hard of a choice. But I don't think I want to play Tepig. Tepig is basically, if you wow me with your Mega Evolution, then I'll choose you for Tepig. I don't know. But yeah, like, the other two have a much better chance of being chosen. So, yeah. And I imagine, like I said, that we'll probably be able to get all three by the end of the game. Just due to the way that Legends games seem to work, most likely they're going to be somewhere in the game. How exactly you're going to get them, I don't know. We'll see. It's probably going to be something stupid. But I think that there's a good possibility that we will be able to get all of the starters before too long. I guess another question that's like kind of on my mind: do you think that the daycare is going to exist in this game?
Oh, I hope so.
Because
I hope there's some way to breed, whether it's the picnics or the daycare.
yeah, like I think that like it's reasonable to say that. And I agree. I think that would be a good like there should be some way to breed Pokemon. But based on the fact that Arceus didn't have that, part of me thinks that that's just gonna not be the case. But also, the other thing though about that though, when it comes to ZA specifically, is that because of the fact that it is the start of Gen 10, and people are not going to necessarily want to transfer their Pokemon in to base because they don't want to not be able to access them in Scarlet and Violet, and the fact that ZA is going to be the main way that people are going to be playing the games for a little while, I think that there's a decent possibility that with ZA, Chikorita, basically, there has to be some way of breeding in there so that people can actually get their Pokemon to be as good as possible. Because otherwise there's just no way that you're going to be able to get your Pokemon to be as good as you want them to be. Sure, there are mints nowadays, and there are other things that can help with making your Pokemon the best natures, the best everything, but at the same time, you have to be very, very careful with that, and I don't know. I'm hoping it turns out good. I hope that they will do some breeding in there. Also, do you think that there's gonna be more forms of Zygarde?
You know what? I don't know. I thought about that, and I haven't really decided whether or not they're gonna do that.
Yeah, like the thing about it is like Zygarde is such a weird Pokemon, just in terms of everything. Like it has its 10% form, it has its 50% form, it has its 100% form, and sure we've seen these. We've seen all three of these forms as well as obviously the cells, but so far in like the trailers and junk, the only things that we've seen is the cell forms and the dog. I think that's it. Regular Zygarde we haven't seen, which is 50% form. We haven't seen 100% form Zygarde. So like part of me is wondering maybe there's gonna be like something more forms like between the different forms. Like maybe there's something
That would be cool.
Maybe there's something before the 10% form. Maybe there's something between 10% and 50%. Maybe there's something between 50% and 100%.
Like 25 and 75.
Yeah, like that would be reasonable. I don't know if there would be anything before 10% actually, but like different forms that would basically give Zygarde more use. And like, is it going to basically be something like how it was in Alola, where you would basically go around and you collected the cells of of Zygarde, and eventually you would get Zygarde 100% form? Or is it going to be something where you're not actually going to need to collect them, but it's something that happens throughout the story? And then maybe there's like something that you have to go searching for to get like a brand new form that's basically Mega Zygarde. And I don't know.
That would be pretty big.
It would be pretty dope. I also think it's worth noting that when it comes to like the Hoopa stuff, that most likely, to me at least, we're probably going to be seeing, that's how we're going to be seeing the other legends of X and Y. Specifically Diancie, Volcanion, there was one other that I can't remember what it is. What was it? Kalos, here we go. X and Y. What was the other mega, or the mega, not the mega legends? So yeah, there was so of the legends for X and Y, there was Diancie, Hoopa, Volcanion. Was that it? Was that the? Were those the only three besides the main ones?
I do think that was it.
I think you might be right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it had like the least number of megas, or not megas, but legendaries. Like obviously there's Xerneas, Yveltal, and Zygarde. So 6 legendary Pokemon. It's, I don't know. I could see maybe like other legendary Pokemon showing up throughout the game for in various different reasons. especially like the ones from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I could see those happening, especially the ones that had Mega Evolutions, which was most of them. Uh, but yeah, so Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, obviously they had like all of their they had their megas. I think that was it though, right? Yeah. Oh, so Deoxys didn't have a mega, Jirachi didn't have a mega, and the Regis didn't have megas, but Latios and Latias, Kyogre, Groudon, and Rayquaza, they had either megas or primal reversions. So I imagine that we're probably going to see those in Mega Dimensions. As well as possibly we'll just get other Mega Evolutions for other legendary Pokemon. What Pokemon exactly? I have no idea. There's way too many to be certain. But we could see more. We could see Ultra Beasts. We could see mythical Pokemon. Especially like some of the mythical Pokemon that are really freaking hard to find. Like. Oh, we I forgot about Magearna. Oh, Magearna was Alola.
Yep.
That's weird to think about because I always think of Magearna as being X and Y because that was it was introduced for alongside Volcanion when it came to the movies. But no, it was different. Okay. So yeah, Diancie, Hoopa, Volcanion. I could see Magearna also showing up just because. And also Zarude. Did you ever see Zarude?
No. Oh.
Exactly. So basically, I believe and I could be wrong about this. I want to make sure before I say this. Yeah. So in Sword and Shield, there was an event for Zarude. That was the only way to get it. And yeah, it's gone. So there was a way to get it. They never talked about it. Zarude is just like one of those Pokemon that nobody like. Did you even know that it existed? Before I before I started talking about it. No, exactly. So like, Zarude is that one Pokemon that was like created for Sword and Shield as its mythical, and yet nobody even knows about it. Basically, the event that happened for it was connected to the movie, and like if you didn't go to the movie, you didn't get the card. I think that there was like some way to get it in other attempts, but it was just so hard to find that if you saw it, you were extremely lucky. And I don't know of a single person who has Zarude. Even like the top YouTubers, they forget that it even exists because it just never has. No one talks about it. Apparently it was like available from 2020 to 2021. Like depending on your exact region, it looks like. So like here in America, it looks like it was available from August 7th of 2020 to March 31st of 2021. Do you know of anyone who was even playing Pokemon Sword at that time?
Nope.
Exactly. So it's and then apparently it was available earlier this year in Scarlet and Violet. I don't think anyone even knew about it. No one had talked about it. I think there might have been I think it was, what even was this? Was this like something that you had to It might have been like a thing that you would just simply activate the game, but it was not talked about in the slightest. So yeah, I don't know of anyone who even knew about it. It might just be because it's had like bad timings and stuff. But like maybe now is the time to put it into Arceus and just be like, yeah, here you go. Um Here's how you get this Pokemon. But here's a way to get this Pokemon, because like comparatively, obviously Mew, Celebi, Jirachi, Deoxys, Manaphy, Fione, Darkrai, Shaman, Arceus, Victini, Keldeo, Meloetta, Genesect, Diancie, Hoopa, Volcanion, Magearna, Marshadow, Zeraora, Meltan, Melmetal, Petrunt. Like, all of those are like, and that's all of the other mythical Pokemon. Like, everyone knows about them. Like, whether or not you've actually caught them is another situation entirely. But like most of those are obtainable in obviously Manaphy Manaphy Manaphy, Fione, Darkrai, Shaman, Arceus, and I think one other was available in ZA. Obviously Deoxys was available in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Or not Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I don't remember the last time that Celebi was available. But Meloetta was available in fairly easily. You can get Meloetta in Scarlet and Violet. Keldeo is also fairly easy to get in Scarlet and Violet, I believe. Like, obviously, a lot of those Pokemon, you have to do, like, some special shenanigans for a lot of the legendaries when it comes to Scarlet and Violet. But you're able to collect most of them. But I don't know. And I think that there's a good possibility that, like, Mew and Mewtwo will be somehow available in Arceus, or not Arceus, in ZA. And yeah. I don't know. But yeah, so I don't know. They need to do some fun stuff. That's my point. I don't know. I think it's gonna be a fun game. I think another aspect that I am kind of curious about is, how do you feel about the online bullshit that's gonna be happening for ZA?
Oh God. I've tried not to think about it.
Yeah. My hope when it comes to what they're doing with the online stuff when it comes to ZA is that anything that is quote unquote exclusive, so the Mega Stones for the Kalos starters, I hope that those are somehow going to be anything else that's in there is somehow going to be accessible once the DLC comes out. Basically, somehow in Mega Dimensions, you're able to get everything that was exclusive to this thing, because there's going to be a lot of people who are going to who are just not going to want to do it, but they want these things. Like, what I would love Greninja, I would love Mega Delphox, I would love Mega Chestnut, but but I really don't want to have to do the online thing. And it's like a season pass type dealy bob. I probably will do them, just to like test it out and see what I think of it. But I'm hoping to heck that it's not something that's going to be really challenging. And from what it sounds like, it doesn't sound like it's going to be super challenging to deal with. In order to get the said things. To me, it kind of sounds like, yeah, you just try it out, and then at the end of the season, you get the special item. You get the Mega Evolution Stone. That's what it.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me. Hey, try this out. If you like it, cool. You get to check it out and have all that fun with that. If you don't like it, cool. You can still get the thing once you're done with. Once the thing is done, but I don't know. We'll see as time goes on. But yeah, I guess another aspect that's kind of like on my mind is, do we think that there's going to be much connection to that of Scarlet and Violet when it comes down to the ZA stuff?
I would say probably not.
Probably not, yeah. Like, if anything is going to have any connection, maybe Terapagos. That's as much as I can see it happening. But
Yeah, I can see that.
But even with that, it's probably not going to be much. Basically, the only thing that's making me think that at all is they have a trail. They have a poster for the next season of Pokemon Horizons out on the Pokemon website, and they've got like pretty much since that's very much a Paldea thing, but a few of the trainers have Mega Evolutions on their teams. Like Roy has a shiny Mega Lucario, and I can't tell who the other person is, but someone has a Mega Sableye. But then in the corner, right next to Liko, is a Terapagos in a Pokeball. And granted, I am not caught up to the Horizons anime at all, and I don't know who is. I don't know. So, to me, I could see that having some connection. Whether or not it's going to be something that is going to be really important to the story, I don't know. I think honestly, I just need to get re-catch up on the Pokemon anime. Keep in mind, I haven't watched a full season since, I want to say, Alola. So yeah. So I haven't seen all of Alola. I haven't seen all like practically any of Journeys, which is the goodbye to Ash, which is just kind of sad. And I've seen like I think 3 episodes of Horizons. So yeah, I don't know. At some point, I should probably get caught up with those, but I don't know. It's a weird. Pokemon is such a the Pokemon anime is such a mess right now. I don't know.
That's true.
So I don't know. I'm still playing the games, so there's that. But yeah, I don't know. But like I said, we've just got a little bit of time left before ZA officially comes out. Obviously, like I said, that is for those of you who are going to be going to the midnight releases. That is on the 15th. I, for one, am going to be going to one of them. Or at least I'm going to attempt to. And then on the 16th is the official release, which is going to be where a lot of people are going to be getting their actual hands on it. So we shall see. It's going to be interesting. I, for one, am going to attempt to. I'm going there like right away on the 15th to right after my stream to basically get the to make sure that I'm in line, and then get the game at the correct time. But we will see. We will see what happens. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what Arceus has in store for. I keep saying Arceus. Legends ZA. Jeez, why is that a hard name to say?
I have no idea.
But yeah, ZA. Jeez. Just ZA. Who's ready for ZA? I am. But yeah. We'll see exactly what ZA has in store for us. And I hope that... I wish that there was more that we knew about it. We know that there's going to be, like, certain aspects that... Like I said, there's we can see that there's gliding with your Rotom phone. But a lot of it is, like, wandering around the city. And I hope that there... I think one big thing that I do want to cover is I hope that the game is not going to just be you running around on your feet and just running for the entire game. There has to be some way of some mode of transportation. I don't care that it's just a city. You need some way of running around the city. Go-Goat was in there for a reason. So, yeah. I don't know. But anyways, guys, I think that's pretty much everything that I have to say for now. Do you have anything that you want to leave us off with, Jack?
Nope.
All right. So yeah, we will see you guys soon. In a few days, we will be checking out Pokemon Legends ZA, and we'll see how exactly we handle that. But anyways, guys, I've been Electro Ninja. He's been Jack, and we'll see you guys next time. But on